Postmodern Art Podcast, the podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I am your host, Nathan Ragland, and for today's episode, I have an artist that I genuinely think is really, really, really good. And their work, well, it's pog as fuck. Today's guest is Artzy, an animator and thumbnail artist who's created iconic first impressions for such amazing content creators such as Smitty, bigpuffer, and so much more. Artzy is seriously a good friend of the podcast, someone that I've been keeping up with for a good couple of years, and someone I've been wanting to have on the podcast for a good couple of years. And believe me when I say the conversation that we had on the podcast was better than I could have ever anticipated, and then some. So I know that you guys are going to really, really love and enjoy the conversation as well. If you enjoy Artzy, please make sure to support him in the links down in the description below. I know he just announced the other day that he just recently put in 2 weeks notice for his job, his IRL job, and to focus more on art. So any love and support would really be appreciated. If you enjoy the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. You know I see that stuff, and you know I genuinely do love it. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend the incredible merch that you can find on our Fourth Wall shop with the links to that in the description below, including the fantastic new shoes. I think you would look sensational with these incredible sick kicks today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast. How are you doing today, man?
Do you know what? I'm actually really good.
Good.
Really good.
I'm really glad to hear that. I really am.
Oh, this is like this is it. Like these past few months and stuff with doing my artwork, it's just been absolutely wild ride.
Good.
Seriously.
I'm seriously glad to hear that. Seriously.
Thank you. It's just like I don't know. It's just been like a roller coaster of emotions. Just like I've wanted to do artwork for like the longest time, and then obviously it's finally all kicked off, and I'm at a place where I feel like I can keep going with my artwork and do something that I feel passionate about as a kind of a job. So it's so fun. It's so good.
Dude, that's seriously glad to hear. Because, okay, the reason why I'm really glad to hear that now more than ever is because I think, what was it, yesterday, I was talking with some buddies and I was telling them that I'm bringing you on the podcast and such. And he's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, well, I've been trying to get this guy on the podcast for years now. In fact, let me go back in my messages and see how long it's been since I've tried to get you on the podcast. Dude, it's been 2021 since I've been trying to get you on this podcast. I don't know if you realize that or not.
Yeah. Because I remember like the first messages we were sending, it was because I was wanting to do like a voiceover thing for like Battlefield 2042, I think. And
wait, what?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I want to do this thing. I've got this passion project that I want to do. Never ended up doing it. So I was like, shit.
Oh, I don't even remember that. All I just know is I remember like the first message you sent me was you thanking me because I think you were like a little tough on money or whatnot, and I just sent like a little money over because I didn't mind your stuff for a while.
Yeah. Mate, honestly, I cannot thank you enough for all that at all. Like, if I could ever repay it to you, just please, let me do it because, mate, you have helped me out so much in times where I've needed the help. So thank you so much.
Look, you being here and then you eventually doing the thumbnail for this episode whenever I pay you to do the commission for it or whatnot, like that more than pays for it. That's more than enough for me. All right.
Also, I noticed as well in the background, it is Lil Nas X. Was it drawn by Senpai Beth?
It was drawn by Senpai Beth. You have a very good eye. I was going to say, she was like the second episode I had on the podcast, so yeah.
Yeah.
God, shout out to her. I hope she's doing well these days. Jesus.
She's what to call it. She's been started up streaming again, doing her artwork.
Yeah, I've seen like little bits of like her streams and stuff and like little art stuff here and there and whatnot. So I mean, it's good to see her like still doing stuff.
Honestly, her work is so cute. She's got these little ducks that go on the bottom of her screen, and it's adorable. I love it.
Great, it's wonderful. I was gonna say, I'm surprised that's the thing you noticed, and not the big giant fucking Smitty U2s that I got right here.
Oh, just noticed it! Oh my god!
I was saying, look at this. Look at
the same one.
You got the same one. Nice.
The same one. It's like I'm so glad. Yeah. I worked with him for like so many years and I didn't know it.
That's why I was like, look, as someone that is a huge fan of Smitty's content and such, like it was obvious I had to have Smitty in the background as well as go ahead As well as go ahead and get a head start on Smitty's newest flavor for gamer subs, good. If you haven't gotten good, I got good. I got good.
Because I haven't got any of them yet. Because I'm thinking about doing it because I do drink my waters and stuff like that. But like I've been drinking a lot of like energy drinks and stuff like that to try and keep me going through the night. And I'm just like, they're not cheap. They're like here in the UK for like the biggest kind of Red Bull you can get. It's like talking about nearly £3, and I'm like, Jesus, I'm not. Yeah. I can't. I'm not paying that much anymore. I mean, I've done help. I've got a Starbucks right in front of me because I need the coffee and I need the caffeine. But
I mean, if nothing else, if I were you, if you really want to like try it out, I know they got like sample packs or whatnot. So I would like get some of the sample packs real quickly, see how exactly you feel on them compared to the energy drinks. Because like the thing is, they're not supposed to like hit hard like an energy drink. It's supposed to be. You've seen all the ads or whatnot.
Like a moderate, kind of like
it's like a gradual caffeine over time or whatnot. But like if nothing else, I fucking love the flavor of them more than anything else. That's why I get them at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, what ones would you recommend?
Oh, okay. Jokes aside, good is good. I'm not gonna lie. It tastes like if you've ever had Hawaiian Punch, that's what it tastes like to me.
Right.
Which is not bad. Personally, and you're gonna laugh at this name, I cannot get enough of Grandpa's Ashes. That one is my absolute favorite.
Everyone says that. What flavor is it?
It's like a berry, like a creamy berry kind of flavor or whatnot. So yeah, it's like if you go on the website, it gives like a general description. Except with good, it didn't give like a general description of what flavor it is or whatnot.
I do know Smitty said it was something to do with, is it cherry? I think it was like cherry slushy or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, now you say that, like, I'm getting a bit of that. I get a bit of, like I said, the Hawaiian Punch flavor. Like, that's what I strongly get whenever I drink it. But, like, regardless, it is good. But personally, like, I was hesitant whenever I first got it. But, like, again, Grandpa's Ashes is, like, really good. And after I get done with this good, whenever I need a refill, I'm getting more Grandpa's Ashes. It's that or waifu candy is actually a really good one, and then, or if you want to go with like more of a basic one, like the blue or blue raspberry or whatnot, really good flavor. Like
I've seen it was something like Lily. What is it? The new flavor.
The blowhole blast.
Yeah. Do you know what? We don't really have like that many we don't really have any other Mountain Dew flavors in the UK. We've only got the plain Mountain Dew.
I've heard that before, which I feel so sad for you guys because you're missing out on the brilliance that is the Baja Blast.
Like, I want the Baja Blast. I want that Baja Blast.
Well, then get your ass over to America. I'll be more than happy to give you some Baja Blast, bitch.
Hey, we're gonna have to put this interview on pause. I'm coming. I'm literally buying a plane ticket right now.
Fuck it, we'll make it an IRL one. We'll give you like a mask or something like that to cover your stuff up.
No, I'll sit off in the corner out of camera, but then I'll animate my character in the chair.
Oh man, like I would appreciate that, but also like I don't want to give you that much work. Like Jesus Christ, man. So I did make up some good like before this interview or whatnot, and now that I have another sip, I get the cherry slush. Like I totally get that flavor of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know? I really want because we used to have slush puppies.
Oh yes. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we what I call it. I remember when I was a kid, we used to go like swimming practice and stuff like that at the local kind of like leisure centre.
Mm-hmm.
And they used to have like slushy machines, and I was always like, "Mum, can I get one? Can I get one?" She's like, "No." Too much sugar. No.
Well, now you're an adult, and you can go out and get your own.
I'm gonna get my own slushy. I want slushy.
But I will say though, if you can't get the slushy flavor, I do highly recommend getting good. Use code Puffer for 10% off. I'll shout out both of your creators right there.
I'll let him know. Oh, mate, you want to watch this new podcast? Why? There's code Puffer in there.
Use code Puffer 10% off, and also gamer subs. If you're watching this at this point, I would greatly love like a creator code. Like just hit me up. I as you can tell right now, I am a corporate shell. Okay, I'll be more than happy to push this stuff out for you. Just give me a code. Just give me a code.
Give us both codes.
Yeah, give us both codes, man.
I'm a streamer now.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just like get some of this little intro bit because I am recording this little intro bit, by the way. If it's cool with you, if it's cool with you, I was gonna put this as part of the podcast itself. But like your episode's gonna be a good couple weeks out. Like you're gonna have some time with it. But like
Yeah.
sometime within like the next week or so, I'm gonna just take this little intro bit of us shelling out fucking good, putting it online, and being like, at gamersupps, Smitty, Puffer, hey yo,
Hey yo, hey yo, where's that code? I want a code.
Oh, goodness.
Use code Smitty. Is it S7 or Smitty? It's Smitty, isn't it? Yeah.
So for Smitty, it's S7. For Puffer, it's Puffer.
And you can't forget Eli and
I'll say I think Goons is just Goons or whatnot. If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I know Russian Badger is just Badger.
Is Blags? Matty's is Blag, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure it would be Blarg.
Or is it just Goons?
It's either Blargs or Goons. Either way, if you know a creator code, if you love your creator, use that code. Although we here at the Postmodern Podcast, we're going to recommend either S7 or Puffer, whichever you prefer.
Puffer. I go with Puffer. He my boss. If I don't say it, he'll kill me.
I was going to say. Use code Puffer. Anywho. But seriously though, despite all the patience and everything, thank you so much for taking the time to do this, man. I have been eager to do this interview for a while, and I'm glad we finally got to time to where we can actually do this conversation.
I've been so eager to do it myself. It's been so unreal. Because I've got a full-time job as well as doing this.
Right.
And I've been telling them all week, for the past few months, I've been telling them about my artwork and stuff like that. And they were like, oh, yeah, they're not really interested and they don't really get it. And I was like, I'm going on a podcast this weekend. I'm like getting an interview for a podcast. And they were like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's an art podcast. Yeah. And we're like, oh, and I'm like, I've just not stopped talking about it. I've been so excited for it.
No, dude, trust me, I get it. I get that mentality. Like, first off, I get the whole entire, like, hey, you work one job, you work a full-time job aside from doing the creative stuff. Again, you're talking to someone that is forklift certified. Thank you very much.
Whoa.
I know, right? Stay back, ladies,
really
I'm taking.
Forklift Simulator.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I really want to sing Game Grumps' Forklift Simulator. Just run over my dad.
But no, trust me, like I'm glad you're excited because I know that excitement's gonna be really shown bright in the podcast and stuff. I'm really excited to see how this is gonna turn out regardless.
I'm happy, you're happy, my little dude looks really happy. I think it's a win-win.
It's a win for everyone. Do you have any questions or concerns before we get this show on the road?
Profanity.
How should I word this? My level of profanity is whatever level you want it to be. So if you swear, I do not give a fuck. Go for it.
Yay!
Like, look, I'm only recently, I haven't recently been monetized, but just because I'm monetized, I'm careful to make sure that at least the first 30 seconds has no swears. So I think I'm good in the grand scheme of everything.
I mean, you've got like an introduction as well that you do as well. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, you like the little animated intro I have alone is like 25 seconds on its own. So that takes up most of it. And then I do like my little pre-recorded one that takes up a good couple minutes. So we're well past the 30 seconds to where any fucks can fly.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Wait, is it really gonna last that long for the interview? Oh, damn.
It's as long as you want to talk. I'll put it like that. It's a podcast for fuck's sakes. Anyways, all right, Artzy. Before we really get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. You know, it's you alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe, get to really enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations, you're not stranded all the time. It's like your own little personal B&B or whatnot. Like,
yeah,
it's and trust me, it's a completely different island than the island you're stuck on right now. Okay, I got you covered there. However, to make sure you don't go completely batshit insane on this island, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
I'm gonna. Oh, this one's really tricky. One piece of media. I think just to kind of ride out the wildness of like my insanity that I slowly will draw myself into. Probably the Doom soundtrack.
Ooh, okay. Elaborate. Why is that the first place you go to?
So when shit hits the fan, and you start going down that road of like insanity. You've then got like some of the most hardcore music possibly going. You've got like Mastermind and BFG Division from Doom, and you just like whilst that's rocking out in the back, like you're like just going absolutely batshit insane. It's my island.
I mean, granted, it's like a little personal paradise, but also I get that mentality. You can only spend so much time alone by yourself on this island, so I get it.
Yeah, I mean, no, like you completely go insane. It's my island. I'll do what I want with my island, and I've got my Doom soundtrack to go with my insanity.
So what are you gonna be doing? You gonna try to like destroy trees while the Doom soundtrack is going on?
Yeah, I'm just kicking up dust and sand everywhere. Blew my island.
God, I'm already envisioning like how that visually would look, more or less.
You'll just see like some random boat come across and go, "We think we found a desert island and a person stranded on it. It's just me. Go away!" And the Doom soundtrack playing out loud.
Meanwhile, that boat's like, I think they're possessed. We'll just keep going past. We'll see if there's any other significant life around here.
I think there's another island if we just go north.
But regardless, the Doom soundtrack. That is your answer. You're locking that in.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Then if that's the case, I cannot think of a better way to start the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. You should check out that incredible merch shop with the absolutely outstanding merch. You would look fantastic in it today, if I do say so myself. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. He is an animator and thumbnail artist who's created iconic first impressions for the likes of Smitty, bigpuffer, Ty Wittis, and more. Welcome to the podcast, Artzy!
Hey y'all, how y'all doing?
There you go. How you doing today, my good sir?
I am doing very well. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm in a really good mood. I'm feeling really jolly.
Good. I'm glad you're in that really good mood because, again, like I said in the little intro bit, I've been trying to get you on this podcast for years. I'm so glad we finally, things have calmed down and things have been good enough for you to actually be able to be on here and talk about some shit because...
I'm a very busy man.
For better or for worse, and I don't blame you, but I'm glad that we're getting this opportunity, especially with some of the stuff that you've been able to do as of late, which I cannot tell you how impressed I am with it. But before we really discuss the stuff that you're making nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of Artzy. What got you interested in art and animation in the first place?
Ooh, so when I was a kid, like growing up watching like cartoons and animations and stuff like that, originally when I was younger, I wanted to be a stop motion animator. Like my dream as a kid was to want to work at Aardman. Because I grew up watching Wallace and Gromit.
Classic.
What else? Literally my brain's just completely gone blank on me on this one. Yeah, they were like all the Wallace and Gromit shorts. Then I think there's a TV show in the UK when I was growing up to kind of like encourage kids to draw and stuff like that. There was two. There was one called Art Attack and another one called Smart. And on the TV show Smart, they had little segments, like little cutaways. And the cutaways were to Aardman's Morph. So Morph and Chaz. Is it Chaz? Chad? One of the two. I can't remember. But it was like little cutaways to their little short animations, and then it cut back to the studio and stuff like that. And I'd always used to just watch Morph, essentially. And then it was when I was, I think, 11 or 12, went on holiday with the family to the south of England, and we saw in a little shop make your own Morph, essentially. And it was like, it came with all the clay, not clay, Play-Doh that you needed. And then you'd make your own Morph, and then it was like, and this is how you do stop motion animation. And then it also came with a load of Morph shots. And then I think it was like a day or two later, we found the Chaz version of it as well. They're the same box. So we bought them both. And I did start to do like stop motion animation with that. And then a YouTube channel I used to watch as a kid a lot was Forest Fire 101.
Okay.
And that were Lego. So then I was collecting Lego. And then I would mess around with like Lego and Play-Doh and stuff like that for stop motion. And it wasn't until like I was about, I don't know, because I used to be really into doing drawing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to the school that I used to go to and do art and stuff like that. I did as a GCSE. I picked art, and I was really looking forward to it. And then it was like I had this art teacher. She was absolutely awful to me. I mean, like even my mum could back it up as well. But she used to single me out, bully me, and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong. I used to be sometimes a little shit as well because teenagers are teenagers. But she used to just single me out for no reason. And I think the day that I kind of stopped doing artwork, to me, like the motivation to do it was one lesson. I did this whole page of like I don't know, was it watercolor? Can't remember. It were of some elephants, and I did it. And she came over to me, ripped out the page, ripped it up, and then went, "Do it again."
What?
And I was only like 14, and then from then on forward, I just had no interest in art anymore, completely out of it. And I was like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore." And it really upset me.
Good Lord. I mean, like, even then, just that little bit alone, like, that's a villain arc right there. Like, straight up, that's just a straight up villain arc right there. Because you, like, really encourage wanting to do it for the longest time, and then there's just one person that just completely dashes your dreams. Like, good Lord.
And especially it was the fact that it was an art teacher as well. So it's like someone that you're supposed to look up to and like give you advice and stuff like that. And she just completely ripped my work up. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, where's the motivation to keep going and stuff like that? And then my parents were really upset the fact that I was just demotivated to do art because I used to do little drawings and stuff like that. And then obviously they do that obvious parent thing where, "Oh, we're gonna hang it up on the fridge," but we used to like hang them up in the cupboards and stuff like that in my artwork. And it was just like a complete demotivation. But it wasn't until I'd say I was about 17, 18, I started seeing artwork on Twitter by and like people who do like started when thumbnails were really kind of popping off kind of thing. And it was Connor Goody and Sam Jones Art.
Yes, I know those names are very iconic for those that pay attention to thumbnail art and such like that. I've wanted both of them on this podcast before, so
I honestly, I think they should come on this podcast because they are both absolutely incredible. Really but it were Connor. Their work, Connor Goody's work. They now work for Vanos. They've been working for Vanos for years, and honestly, their work is absolutely incredible. So, but it was like them two that got me into like thinking, okay, well, I can draw and animate, and well, like animate because I'm still practicing myself doing it. I'm learning, but it was like they are drawing for these content creators that I watch, so like Vanos and Smitty and all this, that, and the other, and the rest of the groups and stuff, Big Jiggly Panda and Syndicate and stuff like that. And I was like, I watch these people, they're doing this, and my favorite type of work is cartoon anyway. So I was like, well, I'll start doing it. So I started drawing on paper. And then it wasn't until I was about 18, nearly 19, I got a cheap little Wacom thing for about £30. And then started trying to draw in Photoshop with that. And then from there, it was saved my money, and I ended up buying in 2018, yeah. Bought a Wacom tablet, the proper big ones, the ones with the screen. Because I messaged Sam. I reached out to him and I was like, "What do you use?" And he told me. So I was like, "Right, I've got enough money for it. I could buy it." And I bought it. And I think it was funny because I went shopping with a friend the day that I bought it. And we were in a shop and I just started crying. And he went, why are you crying? And I went, "I've just spent £700 on a drawing tablet." And he was like, "Do you think that's going to pay off?" I was like, "I don't know." But obviously it hasn't paid off, so.
I'm sorry. I love to think that the initial thought was like, "Oh my God, I'm actually chasing my dreams." No, it's, "Oh my God, I just spent so much fucking money."
I've spent nearly £1,000. But yeah, it were from there though. Like, I've been doing the artwork, and it's only just this week that I've changed from that Wacom to because that one was only a 13-inch screen. I've worked on it since February 2018.
Damn.
We're now in February 2024, and I've only just upgraded to a 22-inch Huey on tablets, and now I'm on a bigger screen. This is what I envisioned when I started. Like, if I could get a screen this big, then I feel like I've accomplished my dream at some part. And I've now got said things sat right in front of me, and I'm like, right, I am where I am now. Like, I'm at that point where I wanted to be years ago, and I'm here. So win-win.
That is incredible to hear. Regardless, I mean that origin story alone is like really incredible when you look through it. I mean, like the rise, fall, and rise of Artzy more than anything else. Like,
we could turn it into a film.
Because, like, trust me, I get it whenever it comes to, like, the stop motion, like, beginning more than anything else. Especially whenever you grew up at a time when Wallace and Gromit was, like, the thing more than anything else. Like, how can you not fall in love with stop motion animation like that? Like, it's so much charm. It's so perfect. Like, especially, like, the shorts alone, but, like, even in, like, their big movies, like The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Oh, my God, it's a fucking masterpiece.
Chicken Run. That were a big one.
Yeah, especially Chicken Run. Oh, my goodness. I mean,
we had all these on VHS. That's how old I'm 25, 26, but we had them all on VHS, and that's how much I remember. We used to rewind them so much.
Dude, I'm 27 years old. I get it. Like, I know. Like, I'm right there with you. I get it. Back in my day. Back in my day, there was no Twitter. It was AOL Messenger.
We used to send letters by the post.
Oh goodness, no, but like it like I'm so glad that teacher, even though it was for a moment, I'm so glad that the teacher like didn't discourage you too much to where you finally fell back in love into art and such with the content creators, which is another thing that I wanted to touch upon with our conversation. Like, obviously they're a major part in your life, especially nowadays, but let's go back to whenever you were like first really, getting introduced to them. How did you become introduced to certain content creators like Vanoss and Smitty and such?
So like I used to play video games as well. And at the time it was 2012 when Black Ops 2 was a big thing.
Yep.
And it were kind of like being introduced to, like, I grew up on YouTube with like the Fred era, and like early Smosh and stuff like that. And it was like, I got to the point where I kind of grew out of it, and I was like, well, obviously it's not for me. Like, Fred's very childish, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
And I was like, well, and I kept seeing these compilations of people popping up playing Black Ops 2, and it was Vanoss. And I started watching it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is actually really funny. Like, genuinely, like, they're having so much fun. They're just messing around. They're not even playing the game properly, like how me and my friends play it. Like, we were like proper, like, oh, let's defuse the bomb. No, someone's there. Like, really get into it. But like Vanoss and stuff like that, they were playing like hide and seek with like enemies on search and destroy, or they're all camping and hiding in one spot where it was not obvious. And, they were prattling around, and then it were the Tomahawk compilations and stuff like that. So that's how I got into watching Vanoss, and which is then when I started watching H-Row Delirious, started watching Died and Ugly, Terrorizer, and the one who shall not be named. And it were like, but it's like how I got into watching them, and then from there it were like wanting to watch more content creators in that area, in that field. And then it were, I don't know how, but I think I just stumbled upon Smitty in 2014, watching some of the early Battlefield 4 stuff.
Yes.
And I started watching that, and then it were like, I watched a few of them, and then it wasn't until when Fallout 4 came out, and he did a whole kind of like 3 videos on it.
I remember those videos.
And I fell in love with him. I was like, right, this guy is, like, in my eyes, I think funnier than Vanoss. Like, don't get me wrong, Vanoss is still funny, but like,
oh yeah,
this is kind of like my comedy, like my humor. And I just fell in love with his content and stuff like that. And I, from there, it was like, I noticed that he then changed the profile picture to roughly around that time where it was the milk bag with the spinning hat. And then the very same one that I got as well that I completely forgot about. But then I was like, just drawing on paper, drawing like the cartoon characters, all of them, Moo and stuff like that. And it was just an absolute laugh and having a ball just drawing these characters. And then I didn't start because then I got into doing Twitter, because that's where I noticed obviously Connor and stuff like that were doing their artwork for the content creators, and I was like, that's where I was like, right, okay, I want to do this. So, but it were to get to the work with like people like Smitty and stuff like that. It's an absolute dick move, but I was just like spamming them with like fan art, like one every day. I was like, I watched like the latest Smitty video, and I was like, right, Smitty video, bang, straight out. Like, got a new thumbnail, a new like kind of drawing that I've done, smashed that out, and then a day later it'd upload again, and I'm like, bang, and I've got another one within like 3 hours, and I just kept going and going and going. And it were 2020, where I have worked with other content creators before then. I'd worked with Terrorizer for a bit, worked with Nogler once or twice. But it was the same thing with them, spamming them with fan art and stuff like that. And then it was Smitty. Obviously, like I said, the one content creator I watched since I was like, I don't know, 15, 16 kind of thing. And it was when he followed me back. And I were in a Discord call with my friends. It was so funny. Because he followed me back and I just went, and they were like, what? I was like, Smitty's followed me back. And then like 30 seconds later, got a DM off him. And I'm like, whoa! And I literally fell off my chair. And my friends were like, oh, what's happened? What's happened? I'm like, he's just reached out. He's just asked me if I could work for him, So, and they were like, oh my God, what are you going to say, dude? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like, full on freaking out. But yeah, honestly, like, and then from there, I've been able to work with quite a few of the group. I've worked with Matt, Blag, I've worked with him once or twice. I work with Puffer.
Yep.
And what I call it, I think, would Smitty will sometimes probably reach out and ask if he wants like an illustrated thumbnail because he's deviated away from that now. But yeah, he still appreciates the artwork that I do, and do you know what? I can't thank them enough, all of them enough for the opportunity that they've given me for doing this. So genuinely, it's a dream come true.
And to think it all started with freaking Black Ops and Battlefield 4 videos that you just couldn't even watch. Like,
I mean, I did want to go down that route of making gaming content, but like, I've always had the art side of me still inside, even though when I thought it was dead, like it was still there. So yeah, I'm just kind of glad that I kind of thought, you know what, no, keep going, just keep doing the artwork, don't give up, just keep going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, especially with the artwork you've been able to produce regardless. Like, I'm glad it was dormant but not defeated more than anything else.
Yeah.
And like I was gonna say, especially with like the content that they were pushing at the time, like for me, I remember whenever I was first getting into like creators like that. For Vanoss, it was back at the Banana Bus days. Like that was whenever that was whenever I was on board with him. And then with Smitty, it was the CS:GO videos that he did, especially like the just CS:GO things or whatnot. Like
the VAC band videos.
Videos, yeah. Or vacations or whatever you called them or whatnot.
Yeah.
That was like, those were like the days, like reminiscent.
Counter-Strike Roulette.
Yeah, Counter-Strike. Oh my God! Don't even get me started on Counter-Strike Roulette. Oh, buddy. But I'm so glad that also like they were a good foundation for you to like go forth and actually like, you know, go with art as well. Like it leads me to the question I was gonna ask a while ago. Like, when did it go from just like a general love and admiration for art, and I guess at one point a loss of it, to a passion and truly wanting to make it your career?
It were like when I got the actual graphics tablet, the main one. Was when I was like, right, let's try and make something out of this. Because it sounds really silly, but like when I had that first Wacom tablet, like my hand-eye coordination was terrible. But it were like, I did post some fan art of Smitty again. But I feel so sorry for that guy for the amount of shit that I've spammed him with. Right. He was playing Fortnite and he got the gingerbread skin and he was calling himself Sam Fisher Price.
Yes.
Yeah. And I drew some like Sam Fisher Price kind of thing. And he asked me, because I sent it off, he liked it, and then he was like, can I use this as a thumbnail? This was years ago, 2018, 2019. And I was like, yeah, sure. And it was dog shit. Like, now I look back on it, it was absolutely terrible. But yeah, it was like, yeah, I sent it off and it was like, yeah, thank you so much, thank you. And I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? Like, it's being used, like I've said, there's Sam Jones art and stuff like that does all this properly as a career kind of thing. And I was like, oh my God, like I could do this. I think I can do this. And then it were Died and Ogler tweeted out that he was looking for a thumbnail artist. And he was wanting people to submit a drawing specifically because he tweeted the brief. And he was like, let's see what you can all come up with, and I'll pick a few people to work with. And I saw these other artists and stuff like Deli DeRay, and Little Hypno. They were two other thumbnail artists as well that kind of got picked up at the same time. And we, you know, it were like seeing their work, and then all of a sudden it were getting the follow back from Died and Ragland, and then same with Terrorizer. After I did the couple of odd fan art not that long after, it was all within the space of a week. And I was like, right, I'm doing thumbnails now. Like, I'm doing thumbnails, do shit. But we all have to start from somewhere, kind of thing. And I feel like it was good that those two kind of gave me the stepping tools to just think, yeah, okay, I can go somewhere with this. And it has its, you know, and then obviously working with the guys that I work with now, you know. But it were, yeah, it were an absolute fever dream, just like being followed back by these content creators. Because I know some of the people I grew up with that I went to school, high school, college, not university, because college in the UK is different. But like, I'm sure you know that anyway. But
I was gonna say, like, isn't correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't high school considered uni or whatnot, or is that like a different? Whole different
no, it's completely different. So it's like you've got primary school, high school, and then you've got college, which is like, yeah, it is like your high school. Yeah, it is, because high school's like kind of your back end there, like before you go to university, isn't it?
Right.
All guys call college. But college for us in the UK is 16 to 18, and then university is 18 to 21.
Right. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. Okay. I same thing. I just mixed it around. College is technically the last 3 years of high school for us, and then you know, university
is also college. Yeah, for you guys. Yeah. So for those who don't know, clarified. But yeah, it were like some people I used to go to college with and stuff like that in high school that used to watch these creators as well, same as me. And then, like, actually one of them messaged me the other day and he was like, holy shit, like, it's so weird to see that you're working with the people that we used to watch and that still watch.
Right.
And he went, and it's wild because I get to see your artwork and know that's you. I was like, it still kind of feels surreal to me. Like, even now, it feels surreal. Even if I get a message popping up and being like, yo, can you do a thumbnail? I'm like, yeah. I love it. So, yeah.
I mean, I've kind of been able to witness that like secondhand with you guys, because like I've interviewed a good couple of thumbnail artists on here, such as, you know, Senpai Beth, Lil Hypno, Kihori, who does a lot of Wildcat thumbnails and such.
Yeah, Kihori, yeah.
Yes, and like it makes me, because like I've obviously like noticed your guys' art over the years, watching the videos of these content creators. Like, it's obviously a great first impression for a lot of people and such. And so the fact that I got to talk to them after the, like, you know, as they're doing this or after they've been able to do this for a while, and like to go back and actually still see that, you know, for some of them they're still doing it and like still see their art afterwards and whatnot. It's just like, I know that person. It's so cool. It's so cool.
It's still surreal. And I think what's really good now, what I've noticed these past year, is the thumbnail and just the YouTube art community. It's thriving. It's growing. There's so many other people. Like, there's Meg, who does stuff for like Jay Schlatt and also does Yumi's thumbnails. Cyril, their work is absolutely incredible. Who also works with Puffer. It's a growing thing. And it's nice to see. I mean, it's a bit like weird to hear as well, like someone being like reaching out and being like, yo, to me, being like, yo, you're an inspiration for me wanting to get into do thumbnails. And I'm like, shit, am I in the position that Connor and Sam was years ago that inspired me? I'm now. Like, some people are saying like, you're inspiring me to do artwork. I'm like, shit, I'm there. Like, what the hell?
Time is just a weird flat circle, isn't it, huh?
Yeah. It's all going to come crumbling down.
Oh, come on. Keep optimistic. I mean, I imagine you've had that thought, sadly, several times, but like, especially back when we were talking about when the teacher was like crushing, you know, your spirits or whatnot. You probably thought that, but here you are now, striving better than ever. I mean,
yeah. It's gonna be so funny, like, though, in like 10 years time, being like me in my 30s, like nearly 40s, and just looking down at the next lot of thumbnail content creators and seeing them and being like, I'm passing you the torch to carry on this. Keep going. You've got this. I don't know why I sound like that at 36. I have no idea.
I was gonna say, how many cigs have you smoked, for God's sakes? Like,
smoke 200 a day.
I did want to backtrack just a little bit because trust me, I do want to go all in talking about the thumbnail aspect, like at some point.
Yeah.
But I did want to go back just briefly because, well, obviously one of your original loves was animation and such. And while you lost that, you are still tinkering with it these days and such. So I'm wondering what brought you back to the animation aspect of your love for art and such.
Just the fact that like I've got my own style now, so something that like it's my independent style, something that makes my work unique, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to do like a big inspiration for the whole animation thing is Ice Cream Sandwich Comics.
Yes,
Him,
yes,
and Odds One Out, and same with Jaden Animations, that lot as well. Like, as whilst I was like tinkering with the whole art side, they also then like kind of cropped up as well. So you've got like the gaming side of YouTube that I was watching all the time. And then you got all the story time animators that were popping up on the other side. And it was like, I kind of want to do what they're doing, but I also want to work with these YouTubers at the same time, like doing the thumbnails and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, now I'm watching, like, even some of the gaming content creators as well were posting animations that people had done for them. Vanos was one of them that kept posting stuff by Pegbarians.
Yes.
Their animation stuff, because they're a team, absolutely incredible. And I was like, I want to get into doing that because it's funny because, you know, it shows you the person, like whoever's animating, what they visualize that happening in that scene. So like because like you can close your eyes when you're watching like a funny content video. Don't get me wrong, you're seeing what's in front of you with the game and stuff, you can see it. But if you close your eyes, you can completely animate a whole scene in your head and see from a different perspective and how funny would that look in animation. And I kind of wanted to go down that route and started practicing, which is why like I've been tinkering for like the past few years, like try to learn. Still nowhere near yet, but I am learning. And it like I want to get into doing also like kind of the story time stuff with my own content because I do want to go down that route. Because I've had friends message me and say to me, even tell me in person, I've got some funny stories. And I mean like batshit, stupid, insane funny stories. And they were like, it'd be funny to see in your art style animated. And I was like, yeah, okay, I can see this. So, but yeah, it was like also getting to like wanting to do animations for like game YouTubers. Like, I did like sent like a rough storyboard animatic to Kruzadar that I used to work with last year. And she absolutely fell in love with it. And she was like, yeah, if you can animate, that'd be so cool. Never finished it.
There's still time. There's still time.
There's still time. I want to call it. I jumped in a stream the other day, and she was like, "I saw that Smitty animation that you posted over Christmas."
Yeah.
Really good. She went, and I remember you were going to make one for me. You never did. I was like,
again.
To be fair, though,
there's still time.
I do still want to finish that. And I've got a load of other animation projects that I want to finish as well. But I just want to get better at it until a point where I feel, yeah, I can continue with this. I feel comfortable with posting next. Because it's still in the very, very rough early stages and stuff. So,
I mean, to be fair, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither's animations about Rome were built in a day either. So, I mean, I don't blame you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will say though, your friends talking about like I have these crazy stories I can see animated. Dude, I cannot tell you how many times, whether it be just in everyday life or whether it be like who I'm talking about with on podcasts, like having the stories that we talk about being translated into animation. Like I'm not gonna lie, when we were doing the icebreaker question, I was already envisioning what the animation for that description of just like of just you like fighting on the beach, like the demon's like come at thee while the doom music is playing. I can't imagine what that visualization looks like.
My island.
And then you just see the boat in the distance, and then zoom up on the boat. And you're like, yeah, we're gonna just keep going north.
Okay then.
Alrighty then. No, like I totally get that, and plus, I will also want to give credit for Cruz for mentioning that Smitty Blarg video, because I was gonna actually bring that up because that animation is so simple but yet so fucking funny, so funny right there.
It took me 4 hours. I was like, right, I'm gonna storyboard it, I'm gonna animatic, and then I'm gonna animate. And the animation was very simple, basic, but like it took me all the process for 4 hours. And it was just funny because, like, don't get me wrong, like, I've seen all these other fan arts that people are doing, and they're all absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just posted the animation, and I think he tweeted, like, this motherfucker made an animation. Like, did I go a bit too far?
I mean, why not? Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah, you gotta go there, though, ain't you? You've all got to at least go too far at some point and then realize, shit, gotta rein it back, gotta rail it back.
I mean, hey, it did get eyes on your stuff, and people realized that you animated. So I don't think you went too far with that one. So.
Thank you.
I was gonna say, like, I imagine, obviously, like, you've been going down like the animation route a little bit. I know one of the opportunities that you have to potentially further that in one way or another was being part of a trainee program for Channel 4. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh my god, yeah, completely. Like, I'd say I completely. It's always at the back of my mind, but like, yeah, I completely forget that I even posted all that. Oh my god, yeah.
I can only imagine how that experience must be to work with a established entity like Channel 4.
Yeah, it were basically, it was like an apprenticeship initiative kind of thing. Because working in the TV industry in the UK is a very it's a very hard industry to get into, especially for the north of England, like the north of the UK, because all the studios, big studios and stuff, are down south in like London and all that area. And they do have like smaller studios like in like the north and dotted around the UK for like the respective local areas, so like for the local news and stuff like that.
Right.
But for like working with BBC and ITV and stuff like that, most of it is down in London. But Leeds, where I'm from, has Channel 4 moved some of their headquarters into Leeds, where I am.
Okay.
And that's when they initiated a few years back this Channel 4 apprenticeship scheme. And it were like, I want to go for this. I was always wanting to go down, like, do that as well. I was applying for like apprenticeships with the BBC and stuff like that, and I kept getting told, sorry, you're unsuccessful. And the cut-off age for doing all that was 24, something like that. And I was like, right, yeah, I want to do this. I'm going to do it. And always got shot down. And it were 2022, I applied for the apprenticeship scheme, and I was like, I'm not going to get it. Like, I've been shot down by every other TV studio and stuff like that. And then it were like, congratulations, you've been selected for an interview. I was like, what? Like, hold on, wait a minute. So I told all my friends, I was like, everyone that I was working with and stuff like that, because I used to work in nightclubs and bars and stuff like that. And I was telling them, and they were like, shit, really? Oh, like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, fair enough. Like, well, fingers crossed for you and all this, that, and the other. It was so nice. I did the interview, and they were like, so it wasn't just like Channel 4 you were working with. There were like smaller independent studios dotted around Leeds that were in partnership with Channel 4 for this scheme. And they were like, if you could work with, out of all the companies on this offer, who would you want to work with? You two. And I put Channel 4 at my top, because I think at one small stage of my life wanted to be a script writer.
Okay.
And like a producer. Which now I can see like wanting to do it in my animations instead. But I was like, Channel 4 is the one, because BBC is very, I don't know, censored in a sense. Like it's to a specific audience. Like their demographic is more like the elder demographic, whilst Channel 4's kind of hits the angsty teen, kind of like the young 16 to 32 bracket, especially, which is where you get all your good shows from. So Channel 4, if Black Mirror started on Channel 4, it was a Channel 4 thing. So it's like, it's very visceral and very dark. You wouldn't get that on BBC. You wouldn't get that on ITV.
Right.
It's get like, I don't know, EastEnders, like soap dramas and stuff like that. But Channel 4 were really going the distance by like, they had one, have you heard of the TV show called Big Brother?
I have heard Big Brother. Yeah, my stepmom's obsessed with that show.
They did, from the same guy who made Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker, did a parody version of Big Brother, but using Big Brother IP, called
really?
Dead Set. Yeah, called Dead Set, and it was basically the Big Brother house during a zombie apocalypse. It just starts before the house, and it's It is. What I call it. A lot of people were sending in complaints to all like the TV studios and being like, "You cannot show this. This is disgusting. It's zombies and people being like brutally murdered, like ripped apart." But it was all these survivors and stuff like that have just entered the Big Brother house, and then the zombie apocalypse kicks in. And they're all obviously with Big Brother, they're completely unaware of the outside world. So they don't know this zombie apocalypse is happening whilst the whole set's being torn to shreds by like zombies and stuff like that. So it was like you wouldn't get that with any other TV show, like TV channel in the UK.
That's brilliant.
And it were getting the opportunity to do like this apprenticeship scheme with them, and it were learning about the TV industry was insane. And it was like I was only there for a short while because I ended up falling ill, which then kind of pulled me out from doing work, and I couldn't get out of bed and stuff. It were bad. So I ended up getting dropped from the course, which was absolute gut punch. But getting to learn and getting to, like the actual mentors as well, or ex-BBC producers. So they were teaching us a lot of what the industry works. And we even got to go to somewhere in Manchester, CHAP Futures they're called. Okay. We got to go to their kind of like base of operation in Manchester, which is kind of like a big thing. There's something in Manchester where there is some studios there called like Media City, it's called. And it's like you've got BBC studios there, you've got ITV studios there and stuff like that. And it's generally a really nice place. It's good. But
I bet.
Yeah, getting that kind of like inside a little bit and knowing what kind of happens and how TV programs are pitched, how to make an engaging pitch, research and stuff like that. And, you know, and obviously there's the teamwork aspect of it all as well. There's workplace etiquette and stuff like that. We were taught like, you know, like what would you do in this scenario if this happened? And then also as well, we got taught, I keep saying a lot, but like generally I am like trying to scratch the back of my mind, but it's like we got taught about imposter syndrome.
Okay. Interesting.
Which is a very, I'm sure you are aware of imposter syndrome, but
trust me, I suffer from it a lot, dealing with a lot of these people that are just like, wow, you're doing these incredible things, and here I am hosting this weird, obscure podcast. Why are you here?
Mate, honestly, it's so unique, though. That's the thing.
I was gonna say, like that, like it's unique for every like individual person. And I imagine like the person on the other side is also feeling like the same thing half the time. It's like I'm not like the other person has to be like I'm not anything special. I just do art and stuff. But like no, like that's not. Like imposter syndrome is a real thing, people.
Yeah, it's a big thing. I mean, even I still struggle with it now. But like the woman who taught us is a woman, Kay. She were amazing. She taught us she says you can't beat it. You can't get rid of it. You'll never overcome it.
Right.
But there is ways that you can work around it and kind of numb it down a little bit so you can think, yeah, no, I do deserve this. Yeah, no, I am in this position because I deserve to be here. I didn't get on here as a fluke. It wasn't like good luck or anything else like that. But like you actually were selected for a reason. You can do something. You've got this potential. You could do it and know where you belong. And it were starting to feel like that as well. Kind of apply that into my artwork and being like, no, I deserve to be here. I've worked my ass off to get to where I am. I haven't like got here on a fluke and whatnot. Yeah, I spammed all these content creators with fan art, but it got to the point where it caught their eye to them being like, actually, yeah, we want to work with this person. And well, that's how I imagine it. But like, you know, if I didn't get selected for these people, then like, what would have happened? I don't know. It's hard to put it in words, but like I was selected to work with these people for a reason.
Right.
You know, it's not just because I did one drawing, post it and went, there you go. And then they've gone, oh yeah, I'll pick him, I suppose. You know, it was like these people were like, okay, I want to work with you because I like your art style, blah, blah, blah. Let's work together, you know. So
it's a combination of hard work, dedication, perseverance. Like it's a combination of a lot of things. So remember, people that I asked to be on the podcast in the future, you're here for a reason. It's not just because I randomly pick someone and be like, you look interesting. No, hey,
you do a couple of drawings. You're on here.
I mean, like, if you want to talk about like perseverance and stuff like that, like again, just from what you're talking about right there, again, once again the highs and lows of Artzy more than anything else, like, like
Shitload of lows and quite a few highs.
like the euphoria of being able to mess with stop motion, the lows of your teacher, the highs of working with television, the lows of all the bullshit you gotta deal with, and obviously like the continued highs that you get to this day at least of working with these incredible content creators that you love and admire. And obviously we've talked a good bit in length of them already, but I'm just curious on like the experience itself and obviously how you got to work with some of the other ones as well. Mainly, I know you've already gone into detail with Smitty, how you're able to do it with the spamming of the artwork, which I have to see some of those early artworks. I have to know like what.
I'll happily send them over, mate.
Yeah, please do, because if nothing else, I'm definitely gonna flash them along in the video version of the podcast more than anything else. But I'm curious. Like, obviously, it's one thing to get your foot in the door and have someone notice your artwork. It's another thing to work with them. So, how was your experience working like with Smitty?
So like working with Smitty, was like even Smitty, Puffer, even all the people that I work with now, just good vibes, really. Having a laugh, and then it was just like Smitty had sometimes send a drawing that he'd done, like a rough drawing, because he himself is a graphic designer,
right?
So he'd send over some drawings, or we'd have like a Word or a Google document, sorry, and he'd update the Google brief, the Google document, this brief, with the work that he'd want me to do, and it was very descriptive, and I mean very descriptive on what he'd want. And if it were like I needed a bit more context, he'd quickly scribble up something and go, "All right, do you see my idea, see my vision?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got this," and then I get it done. So it was like it were very professional, but we could also have a laugh. I mean, like I messaged him the other day, like last week, about the fact that I got affiliate on Twitch, and he was like, "Yo, congrats!" I was like, "Thank you so much." But like, and then Puffer as well is the same. Like I can have a laugh with Puffer, and like it were. Speaking of, I mean, last night actually, to be fair, he was sick and he didn't want to do a face cam. So I quickly, for a laugh, drew the most crappiest stick figure kind of, not stick figure, but like scruffiest sketch of Puffer. And I was like, "Made you a PNG tuber?" And he went, "Oh, no." And he ended up using it. He ended up using it, and everyone were like, "Yo, we can make, like, let's make merch out of this." He was like, "Do we?" I was like, "Oh, no, God." I threw that together in 5 minutes. But it's been very professional. But I mean, I've also been able to have a laugh with them as well. Same with Cruz. It was funniest one. I got messaged by Cruz because I used to join a Twitch a lot, and it were I knew what would come in, kind of thing as well. Like kind of doing that as well, watching the Twitch before it then gets turned into a video is kind of helpful as well, because then I can envision a bit more stuff for the thumbnail. But like she used to have like a joke with the, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, the Hannah Montana milk pillow.
I'm sorry, say that again. The Hannah Montana what?
The Hannah Montana milk pillow.
I'd say elaborate, but I'm too scared to ask. Go on.
Yeah, I'm not going to elaborate. It's very disgusting. But she asked me if I could draw her for a Counter-Strike video with Wildcat. Her eating said Hannah Montana milk pillow, and I wanted to throw up. But I ended up, so it is an actual thumbnail on their channel. You can click on it. It's so, yeah.
I was gonna say, is that, of all the people that you work with, that's got to be the weirdest thumbnail you've had to draw, right?
It's up there. It's definitely up there. Actually, yeah, no, it is.
I was gonna say the fact that you had to think about it scares me, which is, I mean, because I've obviously asked this question with other people. Like I've asked this with Kihori and stuff. Obviously with some of the thumbnails that Wildcats had, you can see how there are many interesting requests with that one.
It's as well, because obviously when you're working with these content creators as well, you don't want to get them demonetized as well,
right?
Because their video could be the most cleanest video on the planet, but if you then draw something suggestive because it is part of the video in the thumbnail, it could get the whole thing demonetized. So it's a double-edged sword. So you're gonna be careful with what you're drawing. But with the whole one that I did for Cruz, you need the context to know what's going on, and only her fans know that thing. I mean, a few other people probably do, but they all knew that context, and then it were then put into the thumbnail, and they were all like, "Oh, what the and they were laughing about it, but it wasn't to the point where it was like suggested of death. It wasn't suggested of sexual themes or anything else
Right,
like that.
right.
It was, it was discussing, but it was related to the thing that they knew. So
I mean, I imagine that's gotta be like one of the fun things about a thumbnail more than anything else. Because like I kind of hinted at with the intro, like you're basically the person that's giving the audience a first impression of what to expect in the video. Like that's gotta
yeah,
be like one of the coolest parts of being a thumbnail artist.
yeah. I mean, it's the whole impressions kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to kind of give like a good impression for the video, and then also as well, you're not just kind of attracting to the audience that already keeps going back and watching it back and forth. You've got to try and attract to new people as well.
Right.
So like try and bring in new audiences to watch the videos and stuff like that, which I feel like with working with Puffer recently, that dude shot up to roughly well over 50,000 subs in less than a month.
Yeah.
You've got his amazing video editors, and then I also kind of feel like, I don't know, I hope it is part of it, but like I do feel like it would be cool if that the thumbnails were also a big part of it as well, because like it's just trying to attract new people to click on the video as well. And I think I've been told that my art style is very kind of eye-catching and can bring in new people. And also as well, I've been told apparently I'm very good with facial expressions.
You really, oh my god, you really are.
Which is absolutely wild to say, the fact that I struggle understanding facial expressions statistics. So it's, like there is that kind of like, okay, people are like, your facial expressions are really good. And I'm like, yeah, but I know like the basics, like happy, sad, and angry. So, but if I can draw them in different styles, I mean, that works, I guess. Like, why not?
Because that's the thing. Like you say, like I understand the basics. Some people can't do the basics just as well. Like for some people,
Yeah.
like, and especially with some of the faces that you have to draw, considering some of the avatars that you have to draw, like it gets a little complicated because not everyone can draw like a pufferfish being happy all the time unless they have like
how can you draw a milk bag with a laughing face? Years of practice, honey. Years of
practice, hard work. I have a real life model of a milk bag right here.
We've even got him.
I was gonna say, like, I know for me, like you were talking about like thumbnails with like great facial expressions and like a great style. There are two thumbnails that I instantly think of that are some of my absolute favorite that you've been able to do, and ironically enough, they're both for Puffer.
Yeah, I think I know which ones they are actually.
Take a guess, and I'll tell you if you're right or wrong.
Kermit with a knife.
Yep. Okay, that's one. You nailed that one immediately, of course.
You know what? I actually said to someone the other day, I went, "That is my favorite thumbnail I've done ever." And they went, "Ever?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, ever. Seriously, that is my best one that I've ever done."
I mean, it's so good because you got like not only do you have just Kermit alone with like the brilliant fucking shading, holding a knife, but you also got Puffer like being scared as all get out, like looking
hiding behind like a garbage can. Yeah.
Like it is a perfect study when it comes to like expressions and everything.
Yeah. There's three that I can think of that there might be for. Two of them being Lethal Company and one of them being Pal World.
Okay, ironically, those are all good. That's not the second one I was thinking of. The second one I was thinking of is the one where they played that like kids playground, like McDonald's like PlayStation one. Yeah.
Right. I completely forgot about that one. Yeah, no, that was my favorite. Like one of I say I completely forgot about it, and I'm like, yeah, it's one of my favorites. But yeah, like. It was just the fact that I got to draw something like so childlike and innocent as well, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
Because the whole context of the video is obviously like they're in a play gym, jungle gym, but it were like, I don't want to draw like adult Puffer and adult Smitty and adult Grizzy and adult Blag and in a kids thing. It don't really suit the vibe kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's adults playing in the video game version of a kid's play gym, but like, let's do something childlike, And it were getting to draw Grizzy as a child, which I thought was really cute, dive bombing into a ball pit. You've got Puffer running across the ground, like running across the playground with a missing tooth.
Yep.
And then Smitty chasing along behind, but rather than his spinny top hat being on one of the puffy bits, it's literally on the top of his head. Which is funny as well.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I even reached out to him because, and obviously I know Smitty's a big what I call ice hockey fan. So
Oh
I said
yeah.
to him, I was like, we being Canadian, I was what team is it that you support? And he told me. So the jersey that he's wearing is an ice hockey jersey, but it's in the colours of what team he supports. So that we're getting to do that, and then obviously I envisioned, this is funny, I envisioned Blag and Matt as the type of kid that used to wear those, flame Guy Fieri shirts.
Yes.
So I was like, right, I'm just going to have him in the background, stuck in one of the jungle gyms, like in the dome. So yeah, no, that one, I really thought really deep into that one, and it makes me laugh. It's just so cute as well.
I feel like Blark would either wear those flame shirts or he would like unironically wear like the Flash shirt that you'd see like Sheldon wear on Big Bang Theory, just because of Big Bang Theory.
But yeah, I mean, because his character that he has for his thumbnails and stuff like that wears kind of like that blue with the pink and white kind of blur. Yeah, really, that really nice pattern. And I just thought, well, it's a similar style shirt, but it's just more cool and edgy, like Matt probably was as a kid. So I gave him the flames on the shirt, but he is unfortunately sat crying.
And of course, you can't forget the most important element of that thumbnail, and that is yourself being able to have a little self inserts in the background and on the side right there.
Yep. I don't know why he lets me get away with that. I have no idea.
I think, let's be honest, like as cool as that is, that's an Easter egg. That's why probably it's cool with you leaving that, because it's like a fun little Easter egg for people that know. Like if you know more than anything else.
Yeah. It's so cute though. Like it was the fact that I put it in, and like I even put like one of my old versions. And people were like, "Yo," and pointed that one out, and I went, "Don't forget shoes off," which is in the background. They were like, "See that one?" Working hard enough.
I'm just because I didn't get to ask this sooner. How did you get an opportunity to work with Puffer in the first place?
Oh my god, so funny. Okay. I tweeted last year that I was like, I really want to get back into doing thumbnails. I'm working full time, working like nearly 40 hours a week, and I was like, I'm not enjoying this. I want to do my artwork, but I don't have time for it. So I was like, if anybody wants a thumbnail artist, let me know. 2 months later, got a follow off Puffer, and I got a DM going, "Yo." Literally, all it was is if got that tweet of me asking if anybody wanted a thumbnail artist, sent me it, and then just put "yo." I'm like, hello, can I help? You were like, yeah, do you want to do a thumbnail? Like, yeah, sure. Test thumbnail, did that. That video is now on over 1 million views on his channel. And
let's go.
Yeah. It's just a simple "yo."
Oh my god, I sometimes do that with people that I'm like comfortable with or whatnot, but I strive to be that comfortable to where one day I could just message someone and be like, "Yo," and they know exactly what the fuck is going down.
Oh, I just thought of something now.
Oh,
do you know we were on about like what's the weirdest thing you've drawn?
Oh, I'm scared. Go on.
For Moo.
Oh, for Moo.
Thumbnail,
okay.
I drew a thumbnail for Moo. Do you know the famous couch with the woman in the middle and the guys stood around?
Oh yes, I remember that, and I think I know what thumbnail you're referencing.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the thumbnail I did for Moo, and he was like, "Yeah," he literally sent me the photo and was like, "Can you draw this?" I was like, "Okay." Went from there and did it, and it were that one's one of my favorites as well. That one, completely forgot all about it. I was like, "Oh my god, yeah, that one."
You want to know something hilarious? In a like little friend group that I'm with, there are times where they call me bootlegs of two different people. One of them is Bootleg Saberspark, if you know who he is. And the other one they sometimes call me Bootleg Moo because they think I sound like him. They're very similar to him.
You do.
All right.
Yay! Moo's retired, but now you're in this swing.
I was gonna say, look, Moo, if you want to just like, since you're doing this only part time or whatnot, if you need someone to take the other part of the time, I'm just saying, like, I can step in, like.
The fans would know. Who is this doppelganger? What do you mean? This is Moo.
I am not Moo. I am God, that was horrible. Anyways, like I can only imagine, like, especially with like being able to work with all these incredible, like, content creators, and being able to put out like such incredible like thumbnails and like iconic stuff like the ones that we talked about or whatnot. Like, and again, it doesn't even just stop with those two. I mean, you even mentioned like, having done stuff for Moo, Blarg. The ones he did for Ty were actually like really good. Like, I really love the
Yeah.
ones that he did for him. Especially the recent one, the Party Animals one. That was just a fun one.
It's so cute as well, but poor thing's just glitching out.
It makes me genuinely curious, though. And I think I might know the answer, but I want to genuinely ask. Obviously, you've been able to work with a lot of content creators before, but is there a content creator you're pining just to do a thumbnail for?
Vanoss.
Of course, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah, I know that one's like probably like everyone's answer, but like just the one, just the one. I won't want to work with him full time,
Right.
and whatnot, because I think Connor's work's absolutely incredible.
Absolutely.
And whatnot, but like if just doing that one would be like, I did it, guys, it's there. But I mean, I'm more than happy to like with doing the work that I am now. I love the work that I do now, and stuff like that. But like, I think the only reason why I'd want to do one for Vanoss is so I could let that 13-year-old me be like, look, we've done it. We've done a thumbnail, an illustration for the guy that we used to watch all the time. And I just think it'd feel that kind of like child version of me, and just be like, we're there,
I mean,
So,
like, once again, like I said earlier, it'd be that full, like, full circle moment of like the person
yeah,
that you like grew up admiring is the person you're actually being able to help contribute with their own stuff, and like that is the ultimate peak, like, I have made it moment more than anything else.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's just so I could like say to like, if I could go back in time and show a younger version of myself and be like, look, we've finally done it. We're there, So that would be nice. But I'm with like working with Puffer now. I'm more than happy just to keep doing that because I love it, and I think he's an absolutely great guy. And plus the content that I've been helping to push out with the thumbnails, I just think it's absolutely been a dream come true. So,
Absolutely.
but yeah,
I mean, I can only imagine how surreal. You can tell me if you want, but like how surreal the whole entire experience it has been for you, just to be able to work with these content creators, to work with a guy like Smitty, and nowadays, especially working with a guy like Puffer, Ty moves. Like, it has to be surreal for you to finally be the place to where you kind of always wanted to be, being able to create incredible thumbnails for these incredible content creators that you can't help but admire.
yeah. I mean, because I still watch them,
Yeah.
like myself. I actually still watch the content. It's not like just I do the work. Like, I do the work, they publish it, and then I do sit and watch said work. Like, I see my work there, and I'll be like, that's me. I click on it, and then I'm like, right. And then now I'm watching their content because at the end of the day, I still admire their work. I still admire the humor and the content that they push out, and their editors are absolutely incredible as well. But yeah, it's just nice to be kind of like part of that team, essentially. Part of like the circle that gets the work done. A cog, essentially, a cog in the machine of someone's YouTube channel.
I mean, that's it. It's incredible at the end of the day to know the impact you kind of have, not just for yourself and for these creators, but for their community as well. Like I said, beginning earlier, like being that incredible first impression that an audience old or new gets to see, to where they want to click on that video and see what bizarre antics these guys go into for whatever game they're playing.
Why is Kermit holding a knife? Yeah, like, yeah. It's just nice to be in that position, though. So, and as well, even the communities as well, being like welcome and accepted into the communities for the art, like especially as well. Because Puffer's like, I've done some live streams and Puffer's shouted me out, and a crap load of fans just came out of nowhere and started to support me on that. Which within 2 days of doing that, I got affiliate, and then in less than a week, I've got over like 2 people, lovely people. They watch my streams all the time, but 2 lovely people, absolute idiots though. I've spent like over 100, like bought over 100 subs, which is within a week. And I'm like, what are you doing? It got to one point I had when it came to sub versus follow ratio, they had bought 1/4 of my followers a sub.
Jesus.
I'm like, what are you doing? You're spending so much money. Stop. And that's in a week.
Why are you spending the money on me? You should be spending the money getting gamersupps. That's just good. Or using code using code buffer. I am a corporate shill.
On better things. You could buy yourself a graphics tablet with that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh goodness, no, like that. Oh my god. I mean, because I've been guilty myself of just buying subs for certain content creators I admire, and my paycheck hates me for it. My wallet cries out sometimes. But obviously, for some of the content creators such as yourself that are continuing to push out like incredible artwork to help out in this incredible community, I think it's more than worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah. So. It's fun, and like I said, it's now like with me doing the live streams. I'd like to see it as that someone who's joining the stream and watching me doing a thumbnail is like, oh, this is how he does a thumbnail. This is the creative process of making the thumbnail.
Right.
And the few that I've done on the stream, I've done the rough process, like the very, very scrappy, very looking crap look, and then they've seen it go from a blank page all the way up until the final finished product. So the people who like the streams have been like 10 hours long and stuff like that. So I don't expect everyone to stay, but they can pop in, pop out, and see the progress, and see. And some of them have joined from the very beginning, leave, and then come right back at the very end of the stream and being like, "Shit, you know, you finished. It looks absolutely incredible." And then some people just dotting in here and there, left, right, and center, and just being like, "Looks good so far," you know. So, but it's kind of like giving the people an insight into how I do thumbnails. I mean, we all do thumbnails differently. Right. Some people have like shortcuts on how they do the styles and stuff like that, whilst I tend to have like a really long approach to doing it. But at the end of the day, I find enjoyment in doing it. So, and hopefully, if it means I can inspire more people, then, you know, hopefully we'll have like the next generation of thumbnail artists coming up. So
that would be a very nice thought to have. Although I have to ask this one simple question or whatnot. The people that are there for hours or whatnot, is that before or after you play Dixon Daryl? Just out of curiosity.
You mean?
Yeah, it's one of those, I did my research. I was looking through like, you know, tweets and stuff to prepare for this or whatnot, and there was one that's like, I'm still going, please I stop playing Dixon Daryl.
Dixon Dallas, leave Dixon Dallas alone.
Oh, Dixon Dallas, my bad. I forgot. Dixon Dallas.
You leave Dixon Dallas alone. Man, his work is so catchy.
Oh,
I only comment when they were Puffer.
Like it's so good, but it's also just so fucking hilarious. That's the thing. Like
it's even funnier.
Like you want to hate it, but you want to hate it, but you can't because it sounds too good.
Just absolute straight fire. You can't disrespect Dixon. Like it's so cool. Like the funniest part is like I said that, I tweeted and I was like, I promise I won't play Dixon Dallas anymore. ... But like we're like, I'm definitely gonna play Dixon Dallas again. But it's like the fans, like the few people that do keep coming back and watching the streams and stuff like that. Like I've just got music on in the background generally to vibe with, but it's then seeing these people like oh yeah, the music. But then when I put Dixon Dallas on, like that one that I just one Dixon Dallas song, like the few that do keep coming back just keep posting like dancing gifs and stuff like that. Like they dance. They just generally like they're like, hell yeah, Dixon Dallas. I'm like, yeah, Dixon Dallas. Like, can't turn that off. It's just funny watching people being like, yeah, and then some people who had no idea that have just tuned in and just being like, what the fuck is he listening to?
What is this shit?
It's so much profanity. It's so rude. I'm like, yeah. Now I'm singing along and like rapping away like.
God. But anywho, I like Jesus.
Mate, I'm raring to sing it right now. It's so bad.
I've always said if I ever get an opportunity to get a sponsorship from Adam and Eve, I'd bring on an NSFW artist. I might try to go for Dixon Dallas if I can get that Adam and Eve sponsorship.
I mean, you completely caught me off guard with Adam and Eve.
Use cut now, joking.
Just what do you call it? Noodle. That was another YouTuber I watched a lot of time.
Yes.
Noodle.
Oh my god, that's
he has sponsorships with Adam and Eve.
Yes.
Oh god.
I love how we have like a very similar taste in like YouTubers and such. Like I think that's why I think that's why it's good that I was able to recognize your artwork with some of these guys, because you watch the same thing that I do.
We come from the same community. It's all good.
Exactly. But regardless, Artzy, we've been talking a lot about the art you've been able to produce, and obviously this incredible community that you've been able to be part of. I can only imagine, like, for you, like, just thinking back, like, obviously from where you started, from like loving that stop motion at the beginning, once again, the highs and lows that you've had throughout your life when it comes to art or whatnot. Does it amaze you how far you've been able to come along as an artist on this art journey?
Yeah. Like I mean, the other day as well on stream, I was looking back at some pieces that I've done for people, like the very early stuff that I did with Smitty, all the way up until now, and I still think that I'm still gonna get better and improve. Like, I'm not at my final stage. I'm nowhere near my final stage. But like where I'm at now is so far compared to where I was, like even a year ago. To be fair, and I think like what's kind of helped as well was like working with Channel 4 and stuff like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like getting an insight into how TV production's made, from storyboarding to animatics and stuff like that and whatnot. But then you've got to learn as well that producers and directors and stuff like that have a vision of how a scene is shot. So I can apply that to thumbnails now. So like, a specific camera angle, a very unique shot. Like the one that I did, the recent Puffer one, the one with Kermit. Yes. Again, like a cinematic like for what I've been like, I imagine it's like a cinematic shot of like a close up of the victim, close to the camera with the killer lurking past in the background, and it's like try to go for like cinematic shots. I mean, I even did another GTA one that I did where it were Puffer and Smitty. Smitty? Oh, bloody hell. Puffer and Smitty in a car being chased by like hundreds of cop cars. But rather than it show you like the car and then the cop cars, it's a shot through a rear view mirror. So like, obviously, rear view mirror your car, it's literally from the perspective of the rear view mirror. So Puffer's eye and side head and the back of Smitty's head are in shot, and then it's just a look through their car out through the back window into the hundreds of cop cars. So, and I see that as like kind of a cinematic shot in like a film, police chase, rather than it just showing the cars and stuff. It'll show you like the rearview mirror shot, for example, stuff. It's trying to apply the whole idea of eye-catching cinematic shots to a thumbnail, essentially. And I feel like I wasn't doing that a year ago. Like a year ago, I was just drawing whoever was in the video the most closest to like the thumbnail, and then whoever's someone in the background doing something or whatever. But now I can like kind of like fiddle around and mess around and make like, I don't know, scenarios that I had imagined if it was animated, put it into a thumbnail. So it's just having that knowledge. And I mean, I'm an absolute film nerd. So like I sit down and watch films as much as possible, take inspiration from that as well. So yeah.
I mean, that's honestly a good like smart way of looking at it. The thing is like, like for you, like being in that kind of experience and whatnot, because I'm like the same kind of way. Like I love having that like behind the scenes look and like the thought process when it comes to like how to make like stuff eye appealing or whatnot. I think the difference is though, like I went to college, I went to uni for mass media, and it ruined my movie viewing experience whatsoever, because now I'm looking at certain shots and I'm like, God, if they just did that like a different way, or if they shot like a little bit closer or something like that, like it's ruined for me that way, because I can look at bad shots, or at least what I think is bad shots, and be like, God, if I just had the camera just push it in a little.
Do you have a specific scene
Oh
or a
my
shot
goodness. Okay.
film that you love?
There's a film that I absolutely cannot watch because of all the different film angles. It's called Sicario. It was a movie from
Yeah, I love it. I love Sicario,
yeah,
but
Sicario, like the story is good, the story is engaging, but some of those camera angles, Jesus fucking Christ, did we really need that many overhead shots of like Mexico or wherever we were, or like the one scene where like the agent had to like leave the facility to like throw up because of like disgusted or whatnot. Like they kept that wide angle way too long. Can we not like just bring it in just a little bit or show like different camera like close up shots? Like you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Like
There's like it's certain things where you watch it and you just go, "What the hell? No, just stop." I mean, like personally, I this is like the most. I've got like a few film kind of opinions that
mhm.
if I said it to the wrong person, I'd get shot. Christopher Nolan, not a big fan.
Understandable.
I generally think his movies are not complicated, but like just drag on for too much. Like, don't get me wrong, one of my favorite films is Memento, which is an absolute masterpiece
Oh yeah.
from Nolan. But everyone was like, "Yeah, the Christopher Nolan trilogy is like the best Batman trilogy." And I'm like, it's good. I like it, but it's not.
I would say that like
Like,
the second one is honestly the best, and I think that's more of a testament of the actors more than anything, especially Heath Ledger
yeah,
as Joker. And I like obviously Memento is a good film, but like that's also like early Christopher Nolan. As Christopher Nolan starts to really become more comfortable, or I guess probably gets a little bit too comfortable with some of his stuff or whatnot. Like
Tenet. Yeah,
some of the stuff, like especially like Tenet, for example, starts becoming just a little too pretentious, just a little.
yeah. And I watched Tenet, and I remember because I it was during COVID, and I just started university, and I was like, well, I got a projector for my room at this point because I had a big enough wall to put it on. I'm like, right, I'll sit down, I'll buy a load of sweets and snacks and stuff like that, sit in my bed, and then put the projector on, and I'll watch Tenet because everybody were banging on about it.
Right.
So I basically, because Amazon were doing like a rental thing
Mm-hmm.
where you couldn't buy the film, but you had to rent it, and it were like nearly £20 for a rental.
That's weird.
And I was like, yeah, and it was really expensive just to rent a film for like 48 hours. So anyway, spent nearly £20 on this Tenet rental. Watched it, and I got halfway through, and I went, "What the fuck is going on? I don't get this." Like, I even watched like a video of someone explaining what was going on, and I was like, "That's still too far complicated for me, and I don't like it." Don't get me wrong, the shots and the cinematography was absolutely incredible, but I was just like, no, this is shit. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's the best Christopher Nolan film ever." I'm like, no, it's really not. Like, this is shit. Another controversial opinion, Joker, with Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
I loved it, right?
Okay.
I've only seen it once. I'll never see it again.
I'm
I
like that
refuse.
I'm like that with a lot of films, believe it or not. There's a lot of films that I've only seen once, and I'm fine. That my memory and the way I processed it or whatnot is the
Yeah.
perfect way I envision it.
Because, like, I remember going to see it in the cinemas, and me and my friend, we went to cinemas to see it, and we were sat next to this older woman, like a very old woman, and she had a notepad and pen, and we kind of figured out that she was obviously like a reviewer kind of
Okay.
thing. And we sat and watched it, and when all the, like, obviously, I'm not going to say anything because I don't want, just in case someone definitely who's watched this has not seen it. I mean, it was, what, 2019?
Yeah, something like that. It was like right
Yeah,
before
yeah.
all the
If you don't
pandemic
watch
stuff.
it by now, you're an absolute mug. But
I mean, for goodness sakes, the sequel is coming out like later this year. So I mean,
yeah. But what I call it, I remember like all the shocks and the twists and stuff like that. I did not expect coming. I mean, a few people have been like, "Yeah, it was obvious," but like I had no idea. And it were like when it all happened and it all kicked off, and especially like the scene with Robert De Niro when that happened, it were like, holy fuck, like what the hell? And it just all completely spirals. And I was like, that was such a good film. But I feel like I've even explained it. I was like, if I watch that again, I won't have that experience that I had when I went to go and see it for the first time.
right.
And it would be just now, I'd be like, it was obviously I know where the twists are coming and it's all predictable. And I'd watch it and I'd just go, that's shit. You know, and and another film that I have that feeling with is Gems as well with Adam Sandler.
Oh,
Like,
okay. Uncut Gems. Gotcha.
absolute. I rate that film like a 10 out of 10 in my, because it's one of those films that kind of give you that like feeling of like having an anxiety attack. Like you kind of, the guy is an asshole, but
Yeah.
you're kind of rooting for him at the same time, and then things just keep going wrong and getting worse and worse and worse, and you're like, fuck, no, this is just getting so bad. And it's one of those films where you sat on the edge of your seat like, what the fuck? And it's such a good film, and I've recommended it to people to watch it, and I'm like, look, watch it, but watch it once, don't watch it again. And they're like, oh, why? I'm like, trust me, watch it once, don't watch it again. And quite a few people have messaged me back and been like, I watched it again, I thought it was shit. I'm like, I fucking told you, don't do that. You're ruining it.
Like the only reason why I would watch certain films again is if to like refresh my mind before like something new comes out. Like Joker, like Joker. You know, the fact that they're coming out with a part 2 that's supposed to introduce like Harley Quinn and all that stuff. Like I will say the thing that I'm most pissed about this sequel is the fact that they announced already that it's going to be a musical. I wish they had kept that shit under wraps until like the preview audiences come in and then like, why is this a musical? No one expected this to be a musical.
What the fuck is going on?
that would have been the ultimate chaotic, but also like people are catching on to that trend too, which is kind of sad. The fact that like certain movies aren't advertised as musicals and then people go in and realize it's a musical, like that new Wonka film,
Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. I mean, like those two polar opposite attractions. People didn't expect Wonka to be a musical. They loved it. People didn't expect the new Mean Girls to be a musical, and they hated it. I mean,
I kind of knew the Mean Girls, like when they announced that they were doing a remake. I
knew it was gonna be based on the Broadway musical and stuff. So.
Yeah. But I know a lot of people didn't, and then they've gone in and watched it, and they've been like, "It's a fucking musical." Like, did you not know that going in? Like, come on, there is the whole Broadway show.
Did you not see the literal musical note in the title? Like,
yeah. I didn't. I just saw it with Mean Girls. Nah, like if I won't watch the musical. I do like musicals, but I won't watch it. But like, for me, like Mean Girls is up there as like one of my favorite films. Generally, I do think it's one of the funniest films ever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine? Because they're coming out with that new Beetlejuice. Can you imagine if that's a musical just based on like how the Broadway musical came out?
This is another controversial opinion. I've never seen Beetlejuice.
You've never seen Beetlejuice? Okay, you know what? Fair enough.
I do want to watch. Like this is a funny thing, right? My mum was the one who got me into like watching all these films and whatnot. And her favorite film, one of her favorite films of all time, is Beetlejuice. She got me into watching Star Wars. She got me into a load of other films, and she was like, I am 100% certain you've seen Beetlejuice. And I said to her, I went, no, I am. She went, we've got it on DVD. And I went, I know we've got it on DVD, but I've never watched it. She was like, you're lying. I went, I'm not. And she went, you have seen Beetlejuice. I was like, I haven't seen Beetlejuice. And she went, I remember me, you, and your sister sitting down and watching Beetlejuice one night. I've never seen it. And she went,
well,
like, she was getting so angry. Anyway, she messaged my sister. And she went, do you remember when we watched Beetlejuice? And my sister went, never seen it. And she was like, what are you on about? Like, she's freaking out about it. And she came up to me the other day. She went, I found Beetlejuice on DVD. I found it. I was like, yeah, I still haven't watched it. She went, she get really angry. Like, she would tell one of her friends, in America. And she went, can you believe this? He's not seen Beetlejuice. And she was like, what do you mean he's not seen Beetlejuice? Like, they were getting so irate about it. I was like, do I really have to watch Beetlejuice? Like, I'm gonna have to watch it, to be fair. It does look good, but I've never seen it.
It's really fun. I will say though, like, I know that same effect or whatnot. I have a buddy of mine. I'm not gonna name them out, but I have a buddy of mine who prides himself on not seeing certain films. One of the films that he has never seen is the original Jurassic Park. He has not seen that film. However, he has seen Jurassic World, which is so hilarious if you think about it.
It's like the worst one. It's the absolute worst one. And that is his whole like idea and his whole vision of what Jurassic Park is. Nah, man.
Like, it's not like he's completely ignorant. It's not like he's not completely ignorant of what the original Jurassic Park is like. He just has never seen it. It's like,
yo, Jurassic Park shit. What do you mean it's shit? Like, Jurassic Park's one of the best films ever made. Yeah, it's like, you know, because there's that sphere ball and all that in in Generous Rex. Wait, well, hold on a minute. Have you seen? You mean Jurassic World, right? Yeah, Jurassic World. It's the same thing, right?
No, it
absolutely
is not.
not.
It is not. One of them is a cinematic masterpiece, and the other one stars Chris Pratt. You figure out the difference.
Oh God. Steven Spielberg is up there as like one of the best like people ever in the whole film.
Absolutely. But Artzy, we have been talking a lot about all different kinds of art and such, and I'm so glad we went on that little movie tangent. That was a great little tangent to go on.
Yeah.
But for this next question, if I may, one of the things you said in your little description of like your art journeys, you feel like you haven't gotten to your final form. Well, how about for this next question, I get you at least a little closer to your final form and give you more or less the dream scenario, if I may.
Go.
Let's say I am Big Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to him like, look, Artzy, we know you can do some incredible stuff. We've seen the little thumbnails that you've done. We've seen the little animations you've done here and there, stuff like that. We see potential that we can certainly gold mine from you. Like, there's gold right there. You just need a little extra boost, a little extra platform to get you up to that point. We have access to everyone in whatever industry possible, and more money there should be possible. We really should be paying the animators. I mean, that the Animation Guild contract's coming up soon. We should probably be taking care of that, but we'll focus on them later, like we usually do. Right now, we are focusing on you and you alone. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream Artzy project?
Oh God. Oh my God. No, you really have given me like really a big question. This is such a good question, though.
Thank you.
I'm trying to put like my brain into like firing all cylinders. Think.
I can hear the smoke coming out at this point.
You're gonna hit fire alarm go off in a minute. I'm trying to think now. Do you know what? I'd love to work on a TV show. Okay. Like, I know it's not animation, but I'd like to do like kind of like artwork and stuff, like storyboard it all out and have like a full production team on making a TV series for something, let's say. Because I had like an idea that I've mentioned to someone and that sounds like that something could be done with that. That sounds really good and whatnot. And I was like, I'd love to do it, but like.
Would you care to tease that idea, if I may ask, or is that encroaching a little too much?
I don't want to reveal too much, just in case you watch this dream comes true in like the next 15 years, and I'll be like, holy shit, I've made it. But yeah, like I'd love to just like have like a production, even if it was like an animation, because I got a few like animations to do, and just if I could have like a production team and. Like Odds One Out, like he's got his own TV show.
Oh yeah.
Just beyond that kind of like avenue, I guess, like do something along those lines. That would be an absolute dream.
That would be incredible. I mean, and of course, what a good way to, good inspiration for alumni of the podcast, The Odd Ones Out, as well. I mean, that's a good.
Watch the episode, guys. Yeah. It's on Spotify and YouTube. You can't miss it.
Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to fine podcasts. No, I can only imagine, like, especially with some of the creative force that you were talking about, especially with like both how you admire current media and how you kind of take art into your own hands or whatnot. I can only imagine the idea that you're brewing up in there. I mean, just.
I mean, as well, it'd be like I'd love to incorporate like just different animation styles as well if it was like an animation project.
Okay.
So like, I wouldn't have it for kids or teenagers. It'd be for more like young adults but like dealing with topics like, I don't know, like it could be like sensitive, but also like adult humor, but then incorporating like when I was a child, stop motion at some points, like maybe if like the characters enter a different world or a different universe or whatever.
Okay.
Or something like that, they can change the animation style to like stop motion or incorporate different animation studios to do different things. Make it unique and kind of like certain areas kind of thing. I think that would be cool.
That sounds like really cool, and I sincerely hope you get an opportunity to bring that closer to reality more than anything else. But
thank you.
Sadly, we gotta get down from the dream scenario. We gotta get back to reality, and I'll ask the ever so.
Oh, ghost gravity. Sorry.
Honestly, I am But as I was saying, we have to get back to reality, and there goes gravity, and I'll ask the ever so generic question. Where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
I mean, like, hopefully just thriving with the whole YouTube side and the whole Twitch side, to the point where being in like Puffer's position where I can hire other thumbnail artists to work with them and give like new opportunities to them, to help them with like a stepping stone, and you know, get work with other content creators and stuff like that. Help other people get to achieve their dream and their passion, because we've all been in that position where we were in their shoes, like wanting to work with these people, you know, with avid fans and stuff like that. And then we're fortunate enough to be in their position to get to where we are now. And now I think as well with like the whole AI side, a lot of people are being demotivated to do artwork because of AI. I don't think it'll take over the industry, and I hope not, and whatnot. And I generally, my personal opinion, I don't agree with AI anyway. I think it could be used to help people and help us in certain ways with actual things. Like I saw a video of a girl, she created AI to help interpret sign language for people in different countries.
Yeah.
So like, because obviously there's British sign language and American sign language, but there's other types of sign language around the world as well, and it's not always the same. So, and this AI recognizes what hand movements people are doing for their region, and then translates it with like text on the screen as to what it actually translates to. So, and I think like AI could be used for stuff like that to help, but I also think some people are using it as a crutch, and being like, oh, I can't be asked finishing this project, bang, throw it in AI, or I could just whip AI up in 30 seconds to do this thing for me, and all of a sudden I'm an artist, and it's like, you're not. Like, you aren't. There's artists, you're putting your blood, sweat, and tears into it. You are practicing and learning to develop. PewDiePie's posted that video of him learning to draw within 100 days.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh, yeah, he's got references. And it's like, yeah, he's got references, but he's learning. He's practicing to learn. And I mean, we've all got references. We all look at people's artwork. I mean, I get told a lot of the time by people that my artwork looks similar to that and reminds them of Rick and Morty. And I'm like, well, I do watch Rick and Morty. That is like an inspiration for me. Gravity Falls was an inspiration from me. I've pickpocketed little things that I've learned, and I've kind of like created my own style, but they are all, the style that I've got was born from other ideas. You know, like we all have ideas and we all in way, but like AI doesn't do that. It just steals people's work without permission as well. And it, you know, there's nothing creative about that at all. So, and I just think, and seeing a load of people now wanting to do what I do, but are demotivated to do it because they think people are wanting to do AI instead. And it's like, no, trust me, like there is places people still want people like me and other artists and you. So please don't feel demotivated. And if within the next 5 or 10 years I'm doing content myself, I'd like to hire these people and being like, look, trust me, like I am on your side. Many other people are on the same side, like, you know, giving other people an opportunity whilst being able to produce content of my own. So,
amen to that more than anything else. Because I've always been a person that has always like preached when it comes to like AI and shit like that. Like, you know, it's one thing if you're using it as a tool to help you. It's another thing when you're using it as a replacement for other people. It's not the same.
Yeah,
it is not the same. But as we start to wind down the conversation, Artzy, I just have one last question I want to ask you. Obviously, you're deeply entrenched in art for ages, no matter what point in life you certainly, and I'll say this again, drink a shot for every time I say this, but you've had your highs and lows, your peaks and valleys, but art has always
I'm so drunk.
But regardless, art has always been like a major part of your life at one point or another. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Oh, very important. And it depends, like, as well, because people think art is just drawing. It's not.
No.
It's really not. You've got music. That's another type of art in my eyes. You've got film. You've got media. You've got TV. So, like theatre, musicals. You've got photography. You've got video editing. Art. I mean, if we didn't have art, the world would be such a boring place. You know, like it'd be fucking dull, it'd be boring, you know. There's the thing that I think is really good as well is a lot of us have like ideas. Well, we all do. When we're all kids, we've all got ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And these ideas don't make any sense. They're absolute batshit insane. When you try and listen to a child, what they imagine, they're like, "Oh, princess and unicorn," and you're like, as an adult, it's hard to try and tap into that idea because you grow up and you just think, "Oh, kids, it's childish." But like, I think it would be cool, like, if we could kind of tap into that as well as an adult and ask a child, what do you imagine? What do you see? What is your ideal world or whatever? What do you like? And the child could like get the crayons and scribble out like a little castle or something like that. And then they're like, there's a princess made of trees and sand. And you're like, that is, I couldn't have thought of that. But
Right.
like it's such an interesting world. But if we didn't have that vision at all, it'd be just a boring world. And art in itself gives us life. I mean, I listen to music all the time, or films all the time. I know my friends listen to music all the time. We've all got different tastes, but at the end of the day, we all like some form of art. There is not a single person in this world that doesn't like a single piece of music, a single piece of film, a single piece of art, a cartoon, whatever. We all have one thing that we all like. And if none of us had one thing, it'd just be a dull, boring world.
Oh yeah, no, it goes back to what I said in the first episode of this podcast. Earth without art is just eh.
Yeah, just What planet?
Exactly, exactly. Artsy, that
Boy.
is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself.
Thank you.
That is all the questions that I have for you, man. I have showered you with a whole bunch of praise, but I'm gonna show you a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what I want.
Oh, you dump it.
Oh, but I won't because, like I said earlier in the podcast, I've been trying to get you on here for years, man. Like I've always loved and admired your art, especially whenever you had a chance to really like work with Smitty and really like bring some of his silly ideas out to to reality. Like it was really fun to see that. Keeping up with you, like you've always seemed like a good chap, and I'm so glad that I've been able to keep in touch with you, on and off throughout this entire time. But especially now, getting the chance to really sit down with you, seeing that you're in a really good position right now, and I cannot tell you how happy I am for you. Seriously, I know.
Thank you.
I'll be honest with you, like looking back, like preparing for this interview, like I was looking back at some of the older messages that we had together, and I remember like I reading through some of the stuff that there was a time where it was really rough for you, and I don't blame you. Like
Yeah.
it was really rough. So to see you like really bounce back and really get to a point where you feel like you're striving and thriving right now, really being in a comfortable position that you want to be in, and also kind of realizing that there's so much more to do. That excitement and that inspiration that you have, it's really exciting to hear. And if I wasn't already rooting for you before, you bet your ass I'm be rooting for you a million times over. Like from here on out, man. Like you're seriously an incredible person and an incredible talent, and I feel honored and blessed to not just be able to know you, but to consider you a friend through and through.
Yeah,
Thank
mate.
you.
I always consider you a friend. You've helped me out through so much, and also like just words of encouragement. Even when I was like financially in the worst spot possible, you've helped me out, and it's you've kind of been on the journey with me as well. Like you've seen me at my lowest point, you've seen me at like my now hopefully like at a high point, not my highest because I feel like I could achieve higher, but
Oh yeah.
you've been with me on this journey, and genuinely thank you so much. I mean, I've been wanting to come on this podcast for like the longest time as well, but like I've either been too busy or I've just been like back end of 2022 up to beginning of 2023, I fell seriously ill.
Yeah.
And I couldn't do any artwork as well, which kind of hurt and killed me as well inside. But now getting to do the work that I do now, getting to do this podcast with you that I wanted to do for the longest time, like I'm finally hitting goals and I'm finally achieving something that I wanted to be years ago. And But honestly, thank you so much as well for everything. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to the show, because I wanted to be on it for so long. So thank you.
Like I said, I should be thanking you more or less the other day for not only just giving me your time, but for being able to put yourself out there through the highs and through the lows and really putting out some phenomenal stuff day in and day out. Thank you for what you do, man. Keep up the incredible work, because I know you said you're at high right now, but I agree. It only gets higher from here.
We're glitching then.
Hey, we can go up together. That's all I'm saying. We can reach that mountain peak at some point.
Thank you. I finally can tick something off my bucket list now.
Oh, really? Is like,
yeah?
What being on a podcast that's on your bucket list right there?
Well, being on this one specifically.
Oh,
to be fair,
this one specifically.
Yeah, no, because what they call it, you've got something so unique. You got something completely different. A lot of people's podcasts, there's a song that makes me laugh that I listen to, called what's the band called? It's like a duo from Australia.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just gonna quickly go on my Spotify. Yeah, what they call it? The group's called Bumbag, and the song's called "Another White Boy with a Podcast," and it's like, and it's taking the absolute piss out of the people who are like Andrew Tate, and stuff like that. We're like, my peak physical form is like me going to the gym and girls know. But that's like what every other podcast that I see pop up. There's only a few that have caught my attention and I watch and I want to listen to and stuff like that. And there's the Casual Criminalist that I listen to, that I do like listening to stuff like that. But you with the artwork as well, like I'm very into my art, and you're talking to so many people from like different areas of the art world. You've got people from the animation industry, you got people who are doing like me, thumbnail artists and stuff like that. You are reaching out to art creative people, which is so unique and it's so different from other people, and I love it genuinely, and I do like listening to it as well when I'm doing my work as well. So thank you for being different from everyone else and being so unique, and also your questions are absolutely entertaining, and you are an entertaining host as well. So yeah, mate, keep going. Just keep going with it. I love it.
Hey, for us, it only goes up from here, right?
It does. The only way is up, baby.
Oh my God, I'm not gonna lie. You had me on the brink of tears. I'm not gonna lie, man. Jesus Christ. Well, distract the people from my tears. If people want to see all the art that I've been just gushing about for the past hour some odd, or however long we've been talking, go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home.
So you can follow me on Twitter or X. Elon Musk.
I still call it Twitter. I
don't know any single person that calls it.
The only people that call it X are the people that are fucking riding Elon Musk's dick, like they're gonna he's gonna give them like $1,000 out of nowhere. Like, no.
Elon Musk is my best friend. You can follow me on Twitter at artzyyt. You can follow me on Twitch. I completely forgot all my plugins now. You can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/artzyyt, YouTube, Artsy Illustrations. I'm going to be doing a lot more on there as well, so you can hopefully, fingers crossed, you'll be able to see some stuff on there. But yeah, those are like the biggest platforms that I'm working on at the moment. So yeah, head on over.
I hope whenever you redo your banner, you're able to find a way to sneak me in there. That's all I'm asking. All right.
Do you want me to sneak you in, or do you want me to sneak Moneybags in?
Ooh, that I'll leave that up to you. Either me or Moneybags, whichever one you're more comfortable putting in there. Whichever one you think will stand out more.
I'm definitely putting you in.
Okay.
Definitely putting you in.
I appreciate that sincerely.
Thank you.
Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Yeah, if you're feeling very low, feeling demotivated, I know it's very easy to say it, but like, keep going, because art can only get better if you keep going. Don't just look at someone else's work and feel like, oh, that's shit. You are worth something. Everyone's work is worth something. Mm-hmm. Like, the only way you can get better is by practicing, even if it's like 10 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day. Try and learn some new things. I mean, I'm still shit at drawing hands, but I'm practicing and I'm doing like maybe 20 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, like doing art references to learn how to draw hands better. So, just keep going. The only way you're going to get better is if you keep going. Don't think that your final product is what you start with. Like, you know, we've all got to start from somewhere. So please don't feel demotivated, and especially with AI art. Like, AI art's still fucking struggling with hands, and so am I. But like, I know I can come out of it the other side knowing that I'm better for it, whilst AI is just like, but it's not. You know, it's not the end result. So just keep going, guys. Just keep going.
Look, I think at some point in life, everyone struggles with hands. Okay, like I think.
I even struggle with hands. Just my actual hands themselves. Like, I pick up stuff and I drop them all the time, and I'm thinking, God damn you hands. So
Like, we all struggle with hands at one point or another. Okay.
yeah.
No. But no, like I think that is wonderful words to live by. Keep going, keep pushing forward because your art is worth something. That is wonderful words to live by. That is a wonderful way to end it. With that, all I've left to say is for the people at home, if you can, please pay your artists.
Yeah. Please. Please.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me sparks in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, put me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, this was a absolutely fun conversation. Artzy, if you've gotten up to this point, you know how I feel about you, man. It's really incredible for us to have this conversation. It's been really incredible to see you grow as an artist. So, like I said before, and I'll say it a million times over and over and over and over again, please keep up the awesome work, man. You know, it's opportunities like this that make me truly love and cherish the conversations I get to have on this podcast. You know, Artzy, like I said, is someone that I've been aware of for a good couple of years because of the content that I love and watch. But showing a little bit of love and appreciation for the thumbnails that a lot of people, you know, for a lot of people, it's the first impression. For a lot of people, it's what has them clicking on an episode or has them clicking on a like a video that they have never seen when it came to that content creator before. That's something that I always love and appreciate. And getting to talk to Artzy and see that love is truly genuine, not just from an art perspective, but as a content perspective, really everything that he puts forth in that stuff, it makes me appreciate him a million times more. I mean, trust me, I've already had a lot of love and appreciation for the guy. I mean, I won't go into detail, but there's been some real highs and lows with this guy, and any opportunity I can to support him, for better or for worse, I've always wanted to be there to help him out because he's always been a good person first and foremost. I mean, it's still never easy, and for a lot of things in life, for a lot of us, things are never easy. I mean, I'm saying this, and well, we all see what's going on around the world. But any opportunity that we can to really show that love and support for people that truly deserve it, for people that have a true love and passion, not just for art, but for life. No matter what they're going through, no matter what they're struggling with, anyone that has that genuine love and appreciation for life and people and everything around them, those are the people that I always want to lift up. Those are the people that I want by my side. Those are the people that I want to really support and really let them know that what they're doing is absolutely incredible. There's a lot of negativity in this world. There's a lot of insane people in this world. There's a lot of horrible people that get away with too many things. So any opportunity in what little way I can to try to lift up other people, incredible people, lift up their voice and really let the world know just how incredible that they are, I'm going to do everything in my power to do that. That's why I love the people that I get to bring on, especially when it comes to, you know, art and such. For a lot of people, they're putting out their whole heart and soul out there for the world. That's why I want to celebrate it. That's why I want to do what little bit I can to really raise these people's voices up. That's why I'm more than happy to have a guy like Artzy on here. That's why I'm more than happy to have just about any of the creators I've been able to bring on here. That's why I will continue to make those voices as loud as I possibly can. I know my reach isn't much at this point, and for all I know, this could be my peak. But if there's any opportunity I can to use what little bit of abilities I have to really let the proper voices be heard, I feel like I'm doing a good job at the end of the day. And that's more than enough for me. So no matter what, no matter how big or small of a voice that you have, if you have the ability to just spread the word about incredible people in your life, do it. Do whatever you can to show a lot of love and support for the people that are really going out there and putting themselves out there and really showcasing just how incredible life can be. Show how incredible that their art can be. It's something that I try to practice how I preach every opportunity I get. And I sincerely hope that you guys take the opportunity to do that as well. Because there's a lot of incredible people that need their voices heard, first and foremost. So let's try to keep amplifying those voices. Let's always try to showcase that life is incredible. And these people, they show life through art. Let that love for life really shine bright.